All right, we're live.
Hey,
Yo.
Hey, happy Friday.
it's the weekend.
TGI
Yay.
Friday.
Yeah.
Although I gotta say, weekends don't feel like weekends anymore
Mm-hmm.
in our new world.
Nothing
They
feels
go
like
by so
anything.
fast.
Yeah.
To be
they're
fair,
just-
to be fair, like I've been working from home for so long, weekends stop being weekends. Like straight
yeah.
up, that just happens from working from home. Period.
For us who had to make the adjustment, it's weekends just seem so similar to everything else that they're like barely special anymore.
Sure.
So they go by so it's like I'm robbed of a weekend almost. But
Or you're
I'm not
constantly on
complaining.
weekend.
Or I'm constantly in weekend mode. Yeah. Well, not quite, but
Yeah.
you're right. I shouldn't. It's not much of a complaint to have.
Mm-hmm.
How have you guys been?
All right. Finished up the bonus streams for Coliseum this week, so now everything's back to normal, more or less.
Now you're free.
I'm free. I'm free
You don't
from
have-
charity.
Exactly. I was gonna say you don't have to donate to charity anymore. How about you, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I played a lot of Jimmy this weekend, and we can't talk about it here. That'll be for TDP
Yeah,
Plus.
same.
That's been my
That's why I've
week.
got one game on my game list.
Yeah, that's
pretty
been
much
my whole week. So I've been like going pretty hard in it. People should listen to that. If I have some things to say about that game, and I'm pleasantly surprised as a little teaser.
Right, that episode will be live after this episode.
Yeah.
But that'll be on the Patreon feed for later on if people are curious about us talking about Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass.
That's been my life, though, basically. Other than that, some Jagoff has been going up and down the street every day, like 3 times with a motorcycle. That's really loud.
Is that what I just heard?
Yeah, that's what you just heard. So he'll probably do it again in about an hour or two. That's fun.
He's just really excited that it's like kind of summery weather.
I guess so. Yeah.
He's been stuck inside this whole time, and even though he should still be staying inside, he's like, "Yo, gotta break out my
Gotta go fast.
my fast hog.
Yeah.
Gotta tear up the streets."
Yep. So that's what he's doing.
You can't just keep that thing chained up.
I guess so. You can't keep that hog chained up for long, that's for sure. He needs to fucking stop. It's driving me insane. I've worked at an airport for most of my life. I can tune out loud noises. That thing's obnoxious. Yeah.
I'm just picturing you going out there and being like, "Excuse me, sir, can you please turn down the volume on this hog of yours?" I have like the same problem going on. And I mentioned to you, I live between 2 musicians.
Yeah.
One of which, the other day, yesterday in fact, came out of his apartment just to yell 2 music scales, and then went back into his apartment. I don't know why he couldn't have just done that in his bedroom, in his living room, in his apartment, but he wanted to come outside to do that.
Cool.
Yep. So I get to deal with that guy every day or two in some capacity.
Sweet.
And I wanted to ask you guys, so in the news this week, DreamWorks announced that the new Trolls movie, Trolls World Tour, made way more money than they expected it to, and B, than it probably would have if it had gone to theaters, because it was one of the movies that went straight to digital, right?
Sure.
Which kind of makes you think oh man, what does that mean for movie theaters when we come back? Blah blah blah. But I was curious, if movie theaters don't come back, what was the last theater you saw in a movie, and are you okay with that being the last movie you saw in a theater?
Ooh.
Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, me too.
That's sad. That's a bummer.
Sucks. Fuck. Damn. Yeah, that's for me too.
I'd be okay with it, honestly.
It's not the worst. When I first thought of this idea, I thought it was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh no, you're right. That totally is it for me. I'm okay with that. That's
okay.
Fine.
See, I was like, oh man, it's gonna be Sonic. That's the last time I'm gonna be in a movie theater. But no, it's not. It's actually Onward. So I'm safe as far as I'm concerned. Um, but you'd be okay with it being Sonic, Paul?
Totally. I like that movie.
Okay, cool. But yeah, and there's like a whole bunch of movie theater chains down here saying like, oh well, if you're gonna keep doing this, we're not gonna put your movies in our theaters going forward.
Mm,
It's kind of like you guys aren't even open right now, so
yeah.
this is a weird pissing contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then in other news, I just wanted to mention and congratulate you guys real briefly before we get into the actual show that I saw today. Canada banned like assault weapons, like
Yeah.
having them. That's awesome. Way to go. That's
I
great.
thought we had already done that, so that actually caught me off guard when you said that. But that explains the random tweets I was seeing today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were highly
like-
restricted, but I guess not fully banned, even though they kind of were just in general already, but not officially.
That's just great to see, man. That's awesome. Go Canada.
All right.
I definitely bragged in front of my coworkers on Slack when I saw that tweet. All right, let's get into the actual show. This is the Top Down Perspective. It's May 1st. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
Paul, you've been playing the new hotness, so why don't you talk to us about Gears Tactics?
Sure. Gears Tactics is a tactics game like XCOM with the aggression of Gears games. They really incentivize you to to down enemies and then go for like just execution murder moves, basically, because when you do, the rest of your teams get an extra ability point to do whatever with. So they kind of want you to like chain over and over, just like ripping grubs down, basically. It's pretty difficult, I would say. I'm playing on intermediate, I think, is the one that says like play this as your first experience with a game.
Any game ever.
Yeah, pretty much. There is like a more difficult mode and like a hardcore mode on top of that, which I'm guessing you can't die like at all or whatever. In this, you can get downed and then like pick your hero back up once, or they can like execute you as well if they're near you and you're down. But yeah, it's basically just a good tactics game within the Gears universe. It's kind of a shitty story nobody cares about, but whatever.
Prequel, right?
Prequel, yeah.
It's Kate's dad
Yes, and
from Gears 5.
the sniper lady the like rebel lady that you meet in 4 is like in this as well. The black sniper lady. I can't remember her name now.
I don't remember that lady at all.
And
She
there's
must have not been in 5.
Cole Train is in this, doing
Good.
his thing. Yeah, he's wearing his football
Good.
uniform in my campaign.
Right, you get that if you like play it within like the first couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
yeah. I joined Game Pass PC,
Okay.
so that I could play it. So I'll play it. So that game, it'll cost me $1,
Sure.
which is
That's
just
a lot of money.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. That game is basically just kind of a little more stripped down XCOM. It doesn't go as in depth in a lot of ways, but it kind of doesn't need to because Gears has never been that complex. Like different guns do different things, and you still have your abilities like Overwatch, and you have like frag grenades and healing grenades and all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty basic, but the thing they really want to drive home is that like they expect you to be doing executions quite a bit, using a character to down an enemy, then maybe having a dude rush it on the front line and like execute the enemy, then use another dude to down another one, then use that guy again to execute that one, and like continue this chain, because they send way too much shit at you otherwise if you're not doing that and like really utilizing the most out of your turns, because a lot of these dudes spawn quite often if you let them. So
Gotta throw a grenade out the pit, stop the spawn. I played Gears.
That's definitely a thing. Yeah, there are the e-holes
Virgin's
or
hole?
whatever.
Is that what it
yeah,
is?
the
Yeah.
Emergent
e-holes.
Souls, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to throw a grenade in them, otherwise every turn they spawn more and more dudes. And you have the annoying dudes that are harder to kill, so they like enrage and run after you if they're hurt at a certain point, and then they become even harder to kill. And you have the boomers that that are slow, but when they get nearby, they just shoot grenades and like can take out your whole team if they're too close together. And yeah, it's pretty standard Gears fare in a tactics game. It's pretty cool though.
Does it make you want to play Gears 5? Because I know you haven't played Gears 5. Or does it make you want to play the new XCOM?
It's different enough that I've been wanting to play Gears 5, so it's definitely making me want to play it again. I think it's
played Gears 5?
No, I think again it's making me want bring it back up in my mind.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's making me want to play the new XCOM a little bit less because it's scratching that itch.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I would say it's more the tactics game than it is a Gears game, really, in that way, where that's the gameplay loop, you know?
But the boys are still there. They still got size 15 shoes. They're thick, and you're like, this is the Gears I want. I want to play some Gears 5.
And they're customizable too.
How's the do-rags?
Well, you can put on helmets or whatever. I haven't gotten a do-rag necessarily.
Then is this even a Gears game?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
That's what I'm wondering.
Maybe one day.
Is there a guy named Carmine?
There are a bunch of random dudes, I guess, that have no names. You can name them yourself. That's kind of I guess, the tactics thing of you have your hero classes, which if they die, the mission's over. You can't let them die. But you can also fill up your party with just little shitty dudes that can die and that don't matter, and they're kind of randomly generated assets and names and stuff like that. So no, none of them are named Carmine, but they are essentially that role of just basic ass soldier that you can name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. That was kind of that is my plan of as soon as Final Fantasy's done, that's the next game I'm gonna jump into.
Yeah.
So that's this weekend's thing for me.
I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I'm through Act 1. I fought a Brumac, and that was neat. So I'm in Act 2 now, and then I got sucked into other stuff from there.
Are you going mouse and keyboard or controller?
I'm going mouse and keyboard. It's set up for both. Totally fine.
Yeah. It's interesting that it has full controller support, but it's not on the Xbox. I know it's coming to the Xbox in the fall.
Yeah.
But just kind of interesting that they didn't put it out on both or whatever. I don't know.
That is interesting. Yeah. Weird. But yeah, if you want a good tactics game, that's a good one. Especially if you have Game Pass, it's essentially free for you. It's there on PC.
And hey, if you don't have Game Pass PC, it is $1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no current plan for this to be on consoles yet, is there?
No, there is. It comes this fall.
Oh, okay.
But it's not yet. Yeah. Otherwise, if you do have a console and Game Pass and you're just waiting for that, you could probably check out Chimera Squad. I was gonna check that out as well, but again, this kind of scratched that itch a little bit. So
just pick it up soon because it's only 50% off for a couple of weeks or whatever. I don't know what the dates are.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick
Chimera
it up.
Squad is $10, so
yeah, exactly. The other game I've been playing is Picross S4 because, of course, I have been.
Same here.
I'm a little disappointed. There's only 6 of the big puzzles. I thought there'd be more.
I'm kind of glad because, man, I tried doing the second one and I was just oh God, I've already made a mistake and I don't know where it was. I'm just restarting.
Fair enough. And
don't want to deal with it.
And that is to say that that's only if you have the other Picrosses. Otherwise, I think there's 2 or 3 of the big puzzles.
There's 2 and then there's 1 for each other Picross version, so there's 5 total.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's a standard Picross game. It has the color, clip, mega, and regular Picross puzzles in it. And that's all I need from it, frankly. And so I've been enjoying it. When not playing Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass, I've been doing some Picross and taking my time through that. Not a whole lot more to say about it. Pretty standard. John, I know you've been playing it as well. Do you have any thoughts about it?
Picross, not even really much to say. They promised 400 something puzzles. I'm just oh my God,
yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
So much Picross.
Those
I'm
big
trying
puzzles are
something
fun.
different. Yeah, I'm trying something different this time around. I'm limiting myself to maybe 10 puzzles a day instead of just trying to sit down and just go through as many as possible. And I feel like
Yeah.
I won't burn myself out on the game as fast this time around.
Sure.
But it
Makes
also means
sense.
an entire like a month to beat the game since there's like 400 something puzzles.
Yeah.
Also, as you say this, you just told me you downloaded another Picross game.
Yeah, because you told me it was on sale.
I'm just
You're literally like,
This
hey,
is
do you
your
guys
fault.
have this?
I'm just saying you're over here being like so much Picross. I gotta limit the Picross as you're like handing them your credit card.
At this point, you might as well keep up with it. New console, keep up with it pretty easy. For now.
Yeah. For now.
For now. Yeah.
It will change.
That's really all I've been playing.
And
Right,
I've only been playing Picross S4 and Jimmy, so I'm also pretty much done. So Sean, right over to you.
I played
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff this week. First off, I finished Final Fantasy VII.
Cool.
I don't really know what happened at the ending there. I'm pretty confused.
It's hard to
Yeah,
talk
everyone
about
keeps.
without.
I don't know what's up with the ending, but everyone keeps saying like it's so weird.
It's very good. It's a very good ending.
It's just like different than the rest of the game in terms of like how they're telling the story. So I mean, you'll get to it. I mean, you didn't play anymore, I guess. So you're still like half-ish
No,
way
I
through.
literally have just been playing Jimmy. So
Yeah. I liked it though. I thought the final boss was a lot of fun. When you get like all the party there, or all the party for this game there, and they're kind of jumping around between people. That was a good time.
Sure.
I will say though that second motorcycle section, which is like the final motorcycle section, the boss of it, like the end of it, I got him down to like probably 1 health twice. I had to do that fight 3 times,
Oh, gross.
which turned that thing from being like, yeah, this is just as cool as like preteen Sean Remember to, I hate this so much. God, I want this to end. Because that boss fight is a slow fight. You don't do much damage to it, and it's kind of like, hey, no matter, even if you're doing it right, it's still gonna take like 15 minutes just because you don't do a lot of damage to this thing. So having that turned into a 45-minute ordeal was annoying as hell. But you know, it's all good. I got questions about that thing, man, for sure. Definitely a lot of stuff where I'm like, I don't remember this. Did this happen? This thing definitely didn't happen. Was this guy even in the game before? Anyway, that's a good game. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yep.
Can't wait to continue it in 2030.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the over under we're given right now?
I bet it'll be sooner than that, but still, like, who even knows? This first one took forever. I played through Gato Roboto.
Okay.
It got
Ooh,
added
okay.
to Game Pass. That's a short little Metroidvania. It actually reminded me a lot of Minute, probably mostly because of the art style.
Sure.
Yeah, I
But
can
also
see that. Yeah.
also just kind of, I think they're both Devolver. I know Gato Roboto is. I wouldn't be surprised if Minute wasn't Devolver as well. But yeah, you're a cat in a mech suit. Like I said, it's pretty short. It's about 4 hours long. Maybe even a little less if you're not finding everything. I found every collectible since it's pretty easy to do. I thought it was pretty. I thought each stage was pretty different and unique, and the boss fights were pretty fun. They threw some interesting mechanics. Like there's a whole area where you don't have the robot suit, so you're just a cat on its own, having to kind of traverse around. Yeah, the power-ups are cool. That is just a really good game. If you have Game Pass, definitely check it out. Otherwise, I think that game is like $5 all the time. Maybe it's $8.
It's pretty short. It's like 3 hours long, maybe 100% it. So
yeah, and it's like I said, it's cheap. I recommend that game. That's a fun game if you like Metroidvanias. I played through Man of Medan. And so I don't play scary games, and you're like, well, then why'd you play Man of Medan?
Right.
So my friend actually had Man of Medan, and I guess if you own the game at some point, if they just did it, I don't know if they just did it for like everyone who owns a copy or what, but the developers gave out like
a
essentially
friend
buddy
copy.
passes.
Yeah.
Like kind of a friend copy, but it's not like a full on copy. Like for example, I didn't get achievements, and I can only play through the game once.
Right.
So it's like a trial version. It's this weird thing. So, anyways, he gave me the code because he really wanted to go through it in the multiplayer and see what that's about. Since this one does have multiplayer, unlike
Until
what was their
Dawn.
last game? Until Dawn. That didn't have any multiplayer, right?
Right.
Right. So this one, pretty interesting. Also, so I should back up for a second. That's how it kind of made it like playable for me because again, I don't do scary games. But since it was like essentially co-op, we were just talking, just shooting the shit on in a Xbox party or whatever,
Yeah.
which definitely made things a lot easier and like doable for scaredy babies like me. But the co-op's pretty interesting because you guys will play a lot of like separate areas. So a lot of our talking was like, wait, what are you doing right now? What are you seeing right now? Because we'll be in like completely different parts of the ship, doing completely different sections. My friend who had already played through it a few times was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure this kind of stuff's going to happen." But then he was getting surprised because of information I found. Based on some of the collectibles you come across, the characters will say and give different information, which leads to different results at the end of the game. So he was getting information that he knew about because he had played the game a few times, but he was getting it earlier because since I was the second player, I was just doing these areas that was getting the info earlier than if you had played single player.
Okay.
So it also,
Huh.
kept him on his toes and things that were mixed up quite a bit. It seems like the way the single player works is it kind of jumps between what what a first player and a second player will get to play. Like they kind of prioritize, here's the best stuff, you're going to do this because there was definitely some times like Paul, I don't know if you have you played the game?
I haven't. No.
Okay. So there's a part near the beginning where you're just on your own little like yacht boat before you get to like the Medan itself. Um, and in that scenario, they're kind of it's kind of like a tutorial area. They're teaching you how the systems work, blah blah blah. But at one point, if you're playing single player, you'll do like a scuba dive underneath to an abandoned wreck. If you're playing multiplayer, one player will do the dive. The second player just kind of sits up on the boat, and they just kind of get a bit more exposition and like chatting with the other characters that stay there. Not the most fun thing. So you can see why if it's a single player game, they would prioritize the more interesting underwater dive because there was like a shark attack and stuff going on down there. But that isn't to say that the second player is just going to get all these bad, boring sections. There was definitely times where I got a more interesting section than he did. Because, like I said, the single player campaign will jump around between what is the most interesting, and sometimes the second player's stuff is the more interesting one. But regardless, there's also some pretty cool moments where how do I do this without saying spoilers? So people, I don't know, just our characters would like come together, but not really realize that we were interacting with each other.
Huh.
Based on how the visual information was being sent to us. And like we knew we were because we were constantly being like, "What are you seeing right now? Oh, what are you seeing right now?" And the game tells you who you're controlling and stuff, and who each of you are controlling. But it does some really interesting kind of stuff. So I think it is just a pretty interesting way how they did co-op. I don't know if I'll play the next one. There's like a trailer at the end of this one, and that one looks scary as fuck. But then again, I said the same thing about this one, so who knows where I'll be when that thing comes out. That thing comes out this summer. The next in the like anthology trilogy, or not trilogy, anthology series. I don't know how many there are of it.
Mm-hmm.
The Dark Pictures anthology. That's the name of it. But anyways, Medan is cool. I will say, however, the character models look awful. They all look like dolls. They're weirdly like clean and smooth and shiny, and their like teeth will be out. Like it was like a bad like I think of David Cage games, and they look fantastic, and the character models look super good. But what if they didn't? Then you have Man of Medan.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Let's see, what else did I played through Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah.
Played through. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty short. It's a pretty short game.
The Street Fighter games are never known for being long.
Yeah. This kind of like stealth just appeared on Game Pass yesterday.
Yeah.
I was actually pretty surprised because Game Pass editions usually get pretty telegraphed ahead of time. This just kind of came up. I did eventually see a tweet, but I was surprised I did not know that this was coming. Also, what's kind of interesting is when you, so I was playing it on Xbox. When you select the game and it like loads up the full screen image while it's loading the game, there's a Game Pass logo straight up like on there on the like cover art, quote unquote, of Streets of Rage 4,
Huh.
which I'd never seen before. So I don't know if they're trying to like brand some of these games in some way, or if there was like an extra handshake deal happened. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I played through Streets of Rage 4. It's in co-op. That was one of the drivers, obviously.
Sure.
Music's fantastic. I like the visuals quite a bit. Trying to think. John, I'm actually kind of curious. I'm assuming you're going to play it.
Oh, of course, but I've just been so focused on Jimmy, I've not touched
Right.
it.
Have you played it at like events and
Yes.
stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I've played as both Axel and Cherry.
Okay, so Cherry's my favorite character to
Yeah.
play as. I don't know if I guess the first unlockable character is my second favorite character to play as. I don't want to say them just in case it is like a cool moment.
I assume that's Adam, right? Because they've already shown the 5 characters, and then they put out a trailer showing about all the other characters you can unlock.
Okay, so the first character you do unlock is Adam. There's 3 other characters you do get. Those are like
there's more than that.
I only know of 8 characters because like the
you
achievement.
unlocked 20. You unlocked 20.
Oh wow, yeah, I gotta look into some stuff. I hadn't really read too much about it. I was just kind of going through what the achievement list talked about, and they only talked about these 8 that I know of. I have no idea how I would get these other characters.
Yeah, so as far as I'm aware of, it's 5 current versions of the characters, and then it's retro versions of all the other characters. So like you get like Streets of Rage 2 Axel, you get Streets of Rage 1 Blaze, etc., etc.
So I the achievements mention. I guess they just mentioned like beat the campaign with an SOR 1 character.
Yeah, that's Streets of Rage 1.
Yeah, so I have 2 retro characters. Okay. But in the achievements only mention 3 of them. 1 for 1, 1 for 2, and 1 for 3. That's why I only knew about 8 characters.
Yeah, no, there's 5. Yeah, 5 modern, and then like 15 or something like that retro characters. That's cool.
But anyways, like I was saying, Cherry's my favorite, mostly because she can like move around fast, like the fastest out of all of them. She's the only one with a run. And then Adam's like my second favorite, which basically kind of handles like Cherry for obvious reasons. But he has like a dash. So again, I just kind of prefer being able to move fast. Blaze is pretty fun to use. I hate her voice. Quite a bit. I don't like her voice. But anyways, I think the art in that game looks fantastic. It's kind of all motion comic-y, and I think they just did a really good job with that. I mentioned the music being real good. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just a good beat 'em up. I played through it once on co-op. I'm gonna play through it again a couple times maybe because there's a bunch of like secrets you can find. So I'm just kind of picking and choosing the little areas I want to go to. Lots of references to other fighting video games. For example, there's a level where you're in a bar and the bartender just happens to be a kangaroo in boxing gloves.
That's a reference to Streets of Rage.
Isn't that a Tekken character?
No, that's Rue. He's from Streets of Rage 2 and 3.
Okay. So yeah, fighting games definitely not my strong suit, so I'm not surprised I'm mistaken. There is a Tekken character that's a kangaroo with boxing gloves, right?
Yeah, you're thinking of Roger Jr., yeah.
Okay. So why couldn't it be a reference to that?
Why would they reference another IP when they have the reference already?
Well, because like I said, they're making references to a bunch of fighting games. Like there's Street Fighter references in there and stuff, so that's why I was thinking, oh, that's probably a Tekken reference.
What are the Street Fighter references?
There's like a pretty significant like Akuma reference boss fight you get to. I don't know, you'll see it when you play it. So
all right, fair enough.
You'll get more than I will, I'm sure. or I'm just crazy, which definitely could be the case because fighting games are not
Could
my
also
forte,
be that.
so. There was no references to Dragon Ball Z Fighters, so I'm basically out of my element here.
Okay.
And Smash Bros, I guess. Anyway, yeah, it's a good game. It's on Game Pass, so like, why wouldn't you check it out? Of course. I recommend it. It's a fun time. And like I said, I finished the campaign on co-op on normal mode in 2 hours, I want to say. About 2 hours.
Not bad. How difficult did you find it?
On normal, not too difficult. We definitely did die a few times. But nothing that it was like, okay, let's focus and like just kind of really like strategize as opposed to just, I don't know, we're just chatting and hitting the X button a bunch and it worked our way. So
Yeah.
normals, I would say normal's pretty fine.
Yeah, so you only played a 2-player, right? And not 4-player? Because I guess that's local for
Can you do 4-player?
4-player local.
Okay, so yeah, I didn't do 4-player. I didn't even know if you could because a lot of time when you start a game, it just has 2 open slots, and then if you can just ignore filling that second slot, so it kind of defaults to mentioning 2 characters. Yeah, I didn't do 4. I probably won't do 4 because we're in a pandemic.
Fair.
So I'm just playing on solo right now myself. Yep, good game. That was Street Raids 4. And without further ado, let's do some news.
All right. What's happening in news today? Or this week, rather?
Like a whole bunch of like medium to large size stories, I would say. Like it was as I was putting these down on the list, it was like a surprising number of things that like are worth talking about happened.
Okay.
Start us off. Is anyone excited about the new Assassin's Creed?
Didn't know about it.
Sorta.
They announced this yesterday. I guess they technically announced they were going to do it on. Oh, was it Wednesday? Maybe Wednesday. They had some like digital artist did like a 5-hour live stream of him painting like the box art. And then
Okay.
they said, this is the game. New trailer coming tomorrow, which was yesterday. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This had been heavily rumored. There was like leaked rumors about this thing for the past couple months, but it is the Viking Assassin's Creed game.
Right.
Norse mythology. Does that interest you guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
The setting, Vikings, yeah?
Yep. Especially because Odyssey was very good. I really liked Odyssey, so I think I'd be ready for another one of those, maybe.
I'm going to assume it is similar to that framework again, since just because they seem to be doing so well. I feel like Assassin's Creed just kind of keeps doing the exact same thing over and over again until it's too much for everyone, and then they reinvent it in a cool way.
Yep, for sure.
Because like we're on like the 3rd version of what Assassin's Creed games are now, in my opinion. Regardless,
something like that.
I never finished Odyssey. This actually makes me kind of want to go back and play some more Odyssey, especially because I bought the season pass when it was on sale a while back, and then didn't play any of that. And that has like Medusa fights and stuff and cool things like that.
Yeah.
Atlantis and all that. So Origins is very good. I still think it's better than Odyssey. Just saying. Couple just bullet point things. You're gonna kind of have a hub village of your own as a Viking village that will change and adapt to the choices you make in the story. People are kind of making comparisons to like the Normandy of Mass Effect. We kind of keep going back there, and that's your little hub world.
Sure.
There's both a male and female hero. They're not separate like they were in Odyssey, like because Odyssey was a brother and sister combo that both happened in the game. This is just there was one character who I think's name is like Eivor or Ivor, something like that. And that character you just choose is that character male or female, and then so there's one protagonist. They said they're bringing romances back from Odyssey. That makes sense. There's going to be a mythological element. Cool. And there will also be a present day section, which makes sense since they had that in the last 2. I'm assuming they would just continue whatever storyline they're making with that. Yeah, I'm down for Vikings as someone who recently played through that God of War sequel. I could go for more of that mythology.
Yep.
And they've said it's coming to current consoles and next gen consoles. They've also come out and said that it will support smart delivery on the Xbox Series X, which, if you don't remember what that is if you buy an Xbox One version of it, you just get the new version of it when those consoles launch. Still no word on if Sony is gonna match that offering or that program. It is cool to see that Ubisoft is jumping on board, since they were the one that last gen charged you $10 for that upgrade. But so that is cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, GDC. I think the last we had heard it is that they pushed it to like August or something. They postponed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have now completely canceled any kind of physical version of it. It is going to a digital only event.
Okay. Still around the same time? Yeah, between August 4th through 6th. Okay.
I'm really curious. GDC is notoriously expensive to go to. And what kind of made sense. It was a big networking hub, so it was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna get a job out of this.
Yeah.
Hopefully, by going there. That seems like it would be a lot harder to network online, so that makes me think it'll probably just be the panels being streamed online. So I'm curious if it'll be like substantially cheaper, or if they'll still try and charge $1,000 for a ticket to these panels.
Yeah.
Which sounds absurd to me, but I don't know. Continuing on for summer events, Jeff Keighley is doing what Jeff Keighley does best and hosting another big game event that we're all going to watch. He announced the Summer Games Fest as kind of a non-E3 E3 replacement.
Yeah, it's got announced like today, didn't it? This is a pretty recent announcement.
It did. He announced that this morning. It'll be taking place from May to August. So it's just going to be a long time. Yep. Playable content for the entire video game industry there. He has a little trailer up there, and it's got all the big names you'd want. Like, he shows a clip from that Mark Cerny non-GDC GDC talk, so you have to assume Sony's on board in some capacity. He has a clip of Phil Spencer, so Microsoft's on board in some capacity. Yeah, I don't know how this is actually going to show up, but everyone's looking online for a E3 replacement, and this looks like it'll be one of them. So good for him. He's also partnering with IM 8-Bit, so there's definitely some like manpower behind this thing.
Cool. Sounds interesting.
Speaking of the new Xbox, they are going to have a big live stream event next week, specifically May 7th, 8 a.m. Pacific time. That's Thursday. They're going to be, it's the first look at next-gen gameplay from their development partners. It's not going to be first-party titles, they've said, but this is where we're going to see the first gameplay of Valhalla. Ubisoft came out and mentioned that.
Okay.
So it'll be a bunch of third parties showing off the first look at some Xbox Series X gameplay. So I bet that'll be a pretty exciting live stream to tune into.
Cool.
And along with Series X news, in an interview with Phil Spencer, he came out and said that the console is on track and still scheduled to ship this year. That hasn't been delayed.
Still think that's crazy.
Well, he's basically said that they kind of were working pretty far ahead on their timelines, so the pandemic did not slow them down. He did, however, say he can't say the same thing about software at launch.
Sure.
He is expecting a lot of delays for launch title stuff.
Yeah.
So who knows what you'll even be able to play when the Series X launches.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bummer. I like, as someone who wants to get these new consoles, obviously I want to use them like day one, like what, justify my purchase. But I totally understand if they can't launch those in time. So we'll see just how big this launch lineup is, or if it's just a bunch of like first party enhanced games that I could have played on my One X.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what do you think Sony is thinking with Microsoft being like, no, we're good to go. We're still gonna launch. Like, do you think they were like, oh
I
crap?
feel like they've got to be freaking out a bit, right? Like,
Probably.
no one's physically seen the PS4 yet.
the 5 yet.
Or sorry, 5. Yeah.
Yep. I heard an analyst talking on Twitter, or I read an analyst talking on Twitter about that. And it's honestly, that's not uncommon. The uncommon is Microsoft coming out so early and doing all this stuff. Because if you think of the last gen, we didn't see or hear about those consoles till the E3 beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not even at June. It's just Microsoft went way ahead and started talking about it at the Game Awards last year. So it seems like Sony's like behind, and they are technically behind Microsoft, but they're still not behind the usual. It's not like they're coming in late. But I am wondering, because we're hearing reports of the PS5 coming in like extra expensive and they're trying to get costs down. So it sounds like they're behind Microsoft's schedule. I wonder if they were just really hoping, like, kind of always got the impression that one of them was waiting for the other one to blink first to be like, okay, we'll also postpone ours because they are. But if the other one's going, we have to go. Like, we have to launch in step with the other or we'll lose. So I wonder if Sony's like, crap, they're still doing it. Or hey, maybe they're just fine.
Probably. With all the rumors that were going around about how haphazard the PS5 development seems to be, it seems pretty valid. I think they might be banking on the delay at this point.
I think there's a similar mentality around the price. Is one of them is just waiting for the other person to flinch first, and then they'll match or undercut. Right? I bet both of those companies have two numbers on a whiteboard, and they're just waiting for the other person to do something so that they can circle whichever number makes more sense for them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, continuing with E3, Nintendo has come out and said they are not going to have any kind of E3 presence around that time. And more so to speak, they're not going to have like a replacement presence around that time. If it does hold another direct, it may not come until the very end of summer. So it sounds like when E3 got canceled, they basically said, well, we don't have to like bottle everything up to just this thing, and we can spread it out however we want now. And it sounds like that's what they're doing.
Makes sense.
Yeah, like it is gonna be weird having around that time not having Nintendo of all companies showing off stuff, but what are you gonna do, right?
Yep.
Like last year when Sony didn't do anything during E3.
Yeah.
That was also weird. All right, continuing with Nintendo, Deadly Premonition 2 got a release date and price this week. It is coming July 10th. And they put out a little trailer that basically kind of looks like a James Bond opening. It's going to be $50, obviously, on the Switch. I'm very excited for some more Deadly Premonition. I'm glad that game is still happening.
Should be interesting.
And that's a good release date because 1 month earlier, Last of Us 2 is going to launch. Sony made a blog post this week giving the release dates for Last of Us 2 being June 19th, as well as Ghost of Tsushima, which is July 17th. So I should be able to get Last of Us 2 done within that second half of June, and then be ready for Deadly Premonition 2. Everything works out perfectly.
I mean, you're gonna hope, anyways.
That's not even that bad of a pushback, June 19th, considering when they said it, they were canceling it. We didn't know if it was ever coming at that point.
Well, they basically said it's postponed like until further notice.
Yeah. So that's
which
not that
sounded
bad.
like, how long is this going to be?
Yeah.
But yeah, June 19th. We also got an email a couple weeks back. Someone put it in the boat of this game's never coming out.
Yep, that's true.
And then June 19th. And then last news story, speaking of Last of Us 2, a whole bunch of that game got leaked this week.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Which is pretty crazy. This story is kind of, it kind of happened earlier in the week, so it's kind of already developed a few times. the big idea was apparently a disgruntled employee of Naughty Dog who had left the company got upset and released a bunch of pre-final footage of the game. I haven't seen it myself, thank God. I'm trying to keep away from that. But apparently there are major twists and turns that you can just watch on the internet. Things are getting taken down, but I'm sure there's plenty you can still find if you wanted to for some reason.
Sure.
Naughty Dog did come out, or actually Sony did come out and make an announcement. Was this, I guess today, saying that it wasn't someone from Naughty Dog or Sony. So I don't know who it would have been. Maybe just like a studio helping out in some capacity, but
Yeah, like a contract employee of some sort, maybe.
well,
no matter what, it was an inside job because that was like
Yeah,
still pre-development footage.
for sure.
pre-development footage, yeah. People are thinking, it's with the way everyone's working at home, it's a lot easier to like have access to that stuff.
Sure.
Security's a lot more lax because people are moving these files around, so it's just easier for these leaks to happen.
Sure.
Makes sense.
That sucks though, man. It's just I feel for the team having that whole game get spoiled like that. But if you're listening and you're trying to avoid spoilers, good luck. Because I'm very excited. I want to play that game fresh next month. So there you go.
Yep.
All right, let's do some questions.
Yay.
If you want to send questions in, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, or the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. I'll read this first one from Jaren, who sent us a Kotaku quiz. This was an article over Kotaku. I think, Paul, I see you're clicking into it, so careful you don't spoil it for yourself.
Okay, I haven't scrolled yet. I'm just looking.
Good.
I see a Monster Energy drink. Did I spoil it?
So this is RPG spell or energy drink. We have to
Good
guess.
Lord.
There's a list of names here.
Okay.
Paul, actually, I haven't opened it myself. Since you haven't opened, do you want to read the list?
I
are
see
you
a
able to keep
list.
track? Do you want me to keep track? The answers are at the very bottom.
Oh, okay. I only see
So you
a
can take
list.
part as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all I have to do is like open up a notepad and then write our answers, basically.
Basically, if you wouldn't mind, and then we'll go through afterwards to see how many we got right. And again, this is the name of this thing an RPG spell, or like a spell you'd find in an RPG game, or is it the name of an energy drink?
Okay. Well, this should be interesting.
Lay it on us.
All right. I'm just getting this. So, ultraviolet.
Energy drink.
Energy drink.
I agree. Pipeline punch.
What?
Pipeline punch. I think this might be a spell.
It sounds like an energy drink, but it's too obvious, right?
Yeah.
So I'm also gonna put an RPG spell, but what would that be?
You know what? I'll be the experiment. I'll take energy drink.
Okay. Okay. Blue bolt. Fuck, that actually sounds like a spell to me too.
They both sound like okay. I'm gonna say
This is
energy
harder
drink.
than I expect this to be. This is way harder than I expected to be.
Blue bolt.
I'll take spell.
Well, because you go into this thinking like, oh, well, when it says Fire Aga, I'm gonna know that's a spell.
Well, I knew they weren't gonna go that obvious, but yeah, no, this still caught me off guard.
I'm gonna go spell as well. John, what about you?
I already said spell. Oh, Sean, you said sorry.
I am doing energy drink for Blue Bolt.
Okay,
Yeah,
for
I'm
Blue
taking
bolt.
spell.
Okay. Star blast. They can't all be spells. Star blast.
I'm gonna say that sounds like it's both actually, but I'm gonna say spell.
Okay, I'm gonna say energy.
Spell.
Okay. Kazapple.
Okay, that's literally the name of a fruit. How could that be a spell?
That is a spell from Dragon Quest. So I'm gonna say that is a spell.
Is
Yeah.
it?
I'm gonna say it's a spell as well.
I guess I'll side with you. You seem pretty confident. Spell. Kazapple?
Okay, broom broom.
Excuse me?
Yeah, the word broom twice. Broom broom.
Spell.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like something I would want to drink. All right. So spell, I guess.
Okay, see that's why I'm gonna go energy drink.
It is the word broom, BROOM, right? Not brew.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
no,
like
no.
I think of like Disney Fantasia
Yeah.
with all the dancing brooms. That's spell. He's a wizard. I'm gonna go spell.
I'm sure it's a spell, but I'm gonna go energy drink. Cool aura.
Cool aura.
Yeah.
Energy drink.
See, I'm gonna go
That
spell.
sounds like a spell.
They all sound
gonna-
like spells and energy drinks.
I'm gonna go spell.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Green-
go with like my what my heart thinks as
Yeah.
opposed to like I'm gonna do the one I don't expect kind of thing.
I'm going a little both. Green storm. I'm going energy for this one.
Brainstorm.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
going
say
energy as
energy
well.
drink because it sounds like an energy drink. Because if that's the name of a spell, that just sounds lazy.
Well, it might be a bad translation from Japanese as well.
Maybe
Summer dream.
an energy drink.
Energy drink.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm thinking like a creamsicle flavor.
Okay.
I can
Hell,
see that.
Creamsicle.
hell, strong focus. I want to emphasize hell, HELL are in all capitals, and everything else is normal. So hell.
What was the
strong
second word?
focus.
That's totally a spell. That's got to be a spell.
Strong focus. Focus, rather.
Strong focus.
Yeah,
This sounds
What
amazing. I
what
don't
does
care.
that even
This is
mean?
going to know.
That's gibberish.
I think this is a spell. I think this is a
That
bad
was two
translation
darts
spell.
thrown at a dartboard of like
Words
fun
to
words.
use. Yeah.
That's an energy drink.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna go with energy drink on this one too.
Okay, I'm saying spell. So we're only half done. Do we want to go for all
actually,
of them?
sorry. Mark me. Oh my god, how many are there? If we're only at
There's
half.
20. We have 10 done.
Jeez.
And mark you as what?
Swap my answer on that one. Actually.
Yep.
I'm gonna say that's yeah.
Okay. Pure silver zero.
Energy drink.
That doesn't sound tasty.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Energy
energy
drink.
drink as well.
What is that flavor to you, John, when you hear that?
Pure silver zero. Probably like. I was gonna say vanilla.
Don't say metal. I know you want to say metal, but you can't.
Metal?
It's
I
not
was
a
gonna say
food.
vanilla.
Vanilla? You get vanilla from that. I'm gonna go spell because that doesn't sound like something I would want inside me.
Okay, what about this? Dark mist.
That's
that's
a Mountain Dew
That's
flavor.
both. Bullshit. That's both.
That's definitely both. Yep. That
I'm spell. If
I'm gonna-
there's only one, I'm saying spell.
me
I'm
too.
going energy drink.
Okay. Gold rush.
Energy drink.
Again, I feel like that's both, but I'm gonna
That
is
say
both.
energy drink.
They're all both. That's the point.
I have a feeling that's gonna pan out.
I'm going energy drink as well for that one. Acid storm. I feel like we didn't have this one yet. Holy shit.
With green storm. That was
You're
a
right.
different kind of corrosive flavor.
Acid storm is definitely a spell.
Yeah, I think so too.
That could be a spell, yeah. Like a poison spell.
Or, acid. Big shot.
That's got to be like a Red Bull flavor.
That's what
There's
I'm
no way
thinking
there's
too.
not a Red Bull Big Shot.
Okay, so I'll put energy
I can
drink for
literally
you.
see the truck that says Red Bull Big
Yeah,
Shot
I'm
at
with
the
you.
EDM concert. Like that has to be a thing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that one. Energy drink.
Trade-in paint. No G in trading. Trade-in.
What? That's just a NASCAR reference. So it's got to be an energy
I was
drink.
gonna say
Yeah.
that's not a
I
flavor.
want a magic spell that's just NASCAR, but I don't think that's gonna be an option.
I'm thinking it's a spell and it has to do with like trading debuffs.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So
Like you're
you think-
swapping something with the enemy.
You're thinking spell?
Spell.
Okay, John, you and I are energy drink for that one, I think.
Yeah.
Trade-in paint. Yeah. Tribute CYP-X.
What?
Tribute CYP-X.
Spell.
Okay. I think so too. That's
Yeah,
that's not marketable as a drink.
Okay, what does that spell do?
Tribute Sip X.
Yeah, what does that spell do? When you cast it, what happens?
You sacrifice some of your points of something to do extra damage.
Extra damage. Okay, yeah. I'll go spell. Yeah, that doesn't. I don't. What is? I don't
Yeah.
even know what flavor that would be. So like, yeah.
Diamond Dust. So I'm just gonna put spell for me.
That is literally Shiva's move from 7.
Yep. That's her ultimate.
So
Oh, you're
yes,
right. Yeah,
spell.
you're right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Spell.
Zing. Z-I-N-G. Zing.
Again, that's both.
It can't be a spell, right? What is that? Can't be a spell.
I'm
That
going
has to
energy.
be probably a spell.
I'm going energy
I'm,
drink.
I'm saying spell.
Okay. And finally, Recovery Grape.
Okay, it literally says grape, so
It does. Recovery Grape. I'm gonna go energy drink.
It's too obvious, though, right? It's too obvious.
That's what I think they want you to think.
spell.
Okay. Okay. Waiting on bated breath. It's a hard decision.
John, I think you have to make your answer, right?
oh, I already said my answer.
Oh, maybe you were over talked. I didn't hear it.
Okay. So which prompt was this again?
Recovery Grape.
Yeah, I'm saying like it has grape in it. It has to be an energy drink.
Sure. All right, we're done,
That's right, you did
boys.
say that.
All right, number 1. Ultraviolet was an energy drink. We all got it right.
Nice.
Nice.
Number 2, Pipeline Punch was an energy drink. Only John got it right.
Hey.
Number 3, Blue Bolt is an RPG spell. John and I got it right. Sean, you got it wrong.
I'm not doing too hot.
4, Star Blast is an energy drink. Only I got that one right.
Okay.
Number 5, Kazapple is an RPG spell. We all got it right.
John seemed pretty positive.
Yeah.
Number 6, Broom Broom is an RPG spell. You both got it right. Sorry, I'm just marking it down here. Number 7, Cool Aura is an RPG spell. Sean and I got it right. Number 8, Green Storm is an energy drink. We all got it right. Number 9, Summer Dream was an RPG spell. None of us got it right. We were all wrong.
What a weird one. Yeah. Weird spell name.
Yep. Number 10, Hell Strong Focused is an energy drink. Only Sean got it right.
Yeah.
11, Pure Silver Zero is an energy drink. John and I got that right. Number 12, Dark Mist is an RPG spell. John and I got that right. Number 13, Gold Rush is an energy drink. We all got that right. Number 14, Acid Storm is an RPG spell. We all got that right. Number 15, Big Shot is an RPG spell. We were all wrong. It is both.
Okay.
It's literally Barrett's spell, but whatever.
Oh.
I was hoping there was a big shot truck.
He has focus shot. I don't think he has big shot.
He has big shot. Play the original
That's
game.
his limit break. That's one of his
On
limit
the
breaks,
original
yeah.
game? Okay.
Mhm. Trade and Paint. This is the one I needed to know of. Well, one of them. Number 16, Trade and Paint is an energy drink.
Yeah.
So John
Buddy,
got it
what?
right.
I guess because
Yeah, buddy.
cars We're banging into cars. I don't know.
The
Telling you,
second
it's
one,
just a NASCAR reference.
the second one I needed to know was Tribute CYP-X number 17, and it is an energy drink. We were all wrong. That's ridiculous. Okay, Diamond Dust is an RPG spell, confirmed. We all got it right. 19, Zing is an RPG spell. Only John got that one. And number 20, Recovery Grape is an energy drink. John and I got that correct. So John has
Crushed
I think I got like 2 or 3.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. John has 13 correct. Sean,
Crushed it.
you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 correct. And I have
Oh wow, nice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 correct.
All
right.
good work, everyone.
Good job, everybody.
Jaren had a follow-up question. If you drink energy drinks, what's your favorite?
I don't drink energy drinks, which is why I find it so funny I did so good.
I also don't drink energy drinks.
I drink coffee, but like energy drinks as they're known, I don't drink also.
All right.
Boko says, what's worse, a character with no character or a character that's absolutely grating? Absolutely grating, 100%.
I think
Absolutely grating.
Yeah.
Did you see what was that Mana game that came out last week?
Trials of Mana.
Was it a new one or like a remake?
Remake of the Super Famicom one that we didn't get.
It has voice acting in it. Did you see that one character that everyone was complaining about? Her voice, she talks like a baby.
No, that sounds bad.
Oh god, that sounds
I'd seen some of the other voice acting and it did not look good.
Yeah,
Right.
I immediately thought of that when I saw this question.
Ugh. Yeah, the default for me is a character probably has no character, so it's a pleasant surprise when they do, and it is worse than mediocre if they're grading, if they annoy me, so that's just worse.
John, you want to take this one from Kenny?
Sure. Kenny writes in and says, if money wasn't an issue, meaning that these people would be paid no matter what, would you open a game studio whose sole duty was to remake as many video games as possible so that people can have access to more older games as opposed to just games that everyone loved?
I have a weird answer and qualifier for this. My answer is...
Would it just be yes? Why wouldn't you say yes?
Well, that's the thing, is that you say yes to create jobs and, like, whatever, but you kind of only make old remakes if you want money. I'd rather just, if money's not an issue, I'd rather pay people to make brand new stuff. Because, like,
so here's a question:
would
Are we
be an
talking
option.
remake? Are we talking remake as in like make an up-to-date version of it? Or are we talking remake as in make it accessible on a new system?
I don't think it
don't
really matters.
Sort of,
I think-
because one just means you're just making the game playable to a new generation. The other literally means you are from the ground up rebuilding a game.
Well, I think the spirit of the question is more like, would you rather put money into bringing like old games back so they're playable, or would you rather brand new stuff?
Oh, brand new, 100%. If money's not an issue, I don't want remakes of anything. I want people to try new crazy shit.
But I mean, if it's the way you're thinking, John, like, do you have a specific answer for that?
If it's just like simple ports, then yeah, this would be perfect because then people can experience a bunch of older stuff, including stuff they would never try before. If it is like having to remake like crappy games from the ground up, I feel like that's just gonna waste of resources at that point.
But we know it's not a waste of resources because money is not an issue. I guess like you're wasting the money, but it's not an issue.
I mean, more so wasting time.
Yeah. But they're getting paid though. Like, who? That's the thing, is at the end of the day, it's like, who cares? They're getting paid. Like, clearly it's successful in some way.
Yeah, that's a tough one, but I would probably say
Literally,
say
the
it's
only
just ports,
reason
yes.
why things do remakes is to make money and to pay people. So if money's not an issue, why would I want them to do remakes? It's not an issue. I want you to do new stuff, take chances, make the new cool thing. There's absolutely no way I would want people to just remake shit if money's not an issue.
Lineback writes, "What are the worst lyrics you've ever heard from a video game song and non-video game song.
Ooh.
Well, you're thinking, because I don't have a great answer for this, but what did kind of come to mind is anytime that you kind of hear like a translated song, like the original was a
Yeah.
Japanese song, and then you're hearing the translated version. And I think of the one that pops in my mind is when I watched Your Name dubbed.
Okay.
They translated some of the songs in that, and whenever they do that, you can hear that the singer has to like get in a certain amount of words that might not actually fit the tone the Japanese words like took up. So it always just sounds kind of rushed or like weirdly like drawn out. Which I always find that just annoying. And it's like you should have just kept the Japanese song in here. Like, who cares?
I say like a lot of games have like weird songs that just kind of work with them. Xenoblade Chronicles X has like weird grating rap lyrics. Persona 5, if you actually pay attention to the lyrics of their music, don't quite make sense except for like when the harmonies hit really heavy. Like the battle theme just makes zero sense if you just try to process it. And I think they even admitted, the music composer was like, yeah, we just had her say some random English phrases that just kind of seemed cool, and we hoped it made it sound cool. So like stuff like that I can think of, but I can't otherwise think of specific examples.
Sonic Adventure 2 rap or Sonic Adventure
Oh yeah,
rap.
you know what? Sonic, just Sonic.
Yeah. Pretty bad. I really hate the line in Love the Way You Lie where Eminem says something about watching her leave out the window. I guess that's why they call it window pane. Makes me cringe every time. Fuck, I hate that line.
What's that Sonic song though from Escape the City?
Yeah, Cityscape.
City Escape? That song's not terrible.
I mean, no, I like that song, but like if you listen to the lyrics of them all, they're trying to like explain what's happening on, but then they just after they get past the first verse, it just kind of goes chaotic. Like
Sure.
Pumpkin Hill is nonsense.
Yep.
Almost all of the songs from Sonic Adventure 1 are just crazy. Like literally Big the Cat's theme is him singing to his frog friend about just going fishing.
Sure.
And that's just his main theme. What else? Paul reminded me of an Eiffel 65 song where they literally just sing about PlayStation 1 games.
Or just any Eiffel 65 song.
Yeah, but no, like literally half the lyrics are just them listing off PlayStation 1 games. So like Tekken 3, Metal Gear Solid,
Oh, I do
Resident
remember that.
Evil, Gran
Yeah,
Turismo, like that.
Yes. I haven't thought about that in
Ugh.
2
As
decades.
well, you
probably.
shouldn't have.
Yeah, no.
That
Did you know
was
they
my
had a
childhood.
second album?
Oh yeah, didn't they have a couple?
I knew they had a second one, and when the second one came out, I was like, I am so over this band and group, whatever.
I thought they had like a couple. Hang on, I'm looking at it now. I thought they had like 5.
I have 6 words for you guys. Fucking magnets. How do they work?
All right,
really
there are
annoying.
3 Eiffel 65 albums.
And the first one is the main one, right?
Yeah, Europop, yeah.
Okay.
Then there's Contact, which is the second one that came out in 2001. Europop was 99. And then Eiffel 65 was 2003. It is the only one of their albums that does not have a link to it on Wikipedia. That's weird.
Wow. Do you guys remember Prozac?
Yes. They had a
Prozac
reunion tour a couple years ago.
Did they really? Okay.
Yes.
I was gonna say, actually, I may have known that. I was gonna say those Eiffel 65 and Prozac were around the same time for me.
Sure. Good old Prozac.
Just dumb nerd techno.
All right. Suku says, I was wondering, what genre is Animal Crossing? It's sort of life sim, sort of collectathon, sort of sandbox, sort of interior design, but it doesn't really do what those genres do what others of those genres do. There's no real end goal other than pay off the loan, and the game is real time, which is a really unthinkable concept. How many games are even even are real time. It feels more like a virtual toy box in a way too.
I mean, that's kind of what it is.
Lightning action, whatever that Kojima Metal Gear Rising one was.
Lightning stealth action or something like that.
Something like that. I always just said like, yeah, life sim, like The Sims, whatever The Sims is.
Sure.
Yeah, I would say life sim too.
Yeah, like it's close enough. I think I saw people in the Discord talking like how it doesn't have like hunger mechanics and whatnot.
Survival
I think it's
sim.
just so I think it's just
yeah,
just a different take on the life sim. Like they don't need to all have the exact same stuff. I don't think, at least.
Agreed. Second part of the question is, how many other real-time games are there?
Doesn't Pokemon follow the normal day-night clock?
Oh, are you referring to like actual like day-night clocks? Yeah, Pokemon used to. I think they changed after a while.
I think they still do. I think Sword and Shield does.
No, Sword and Shield does not. I'm pretty sure, because I played that game primarily at night, and I had some daytime running around.
Okay, well, it definitely used to, because I remember having to like do stuff specifically at night. Like I remember doing that with like Pokemon Gold and whatnot.
Sonny says they stopped for Gen 3, but came back. Sword and Shield has both. Oh.
How does that make sense? Does not until you beat the game, except in the wild area.
That makes sense, actually.
I don't think I ever noticed that.
Interesting.
That makes a lot of sense.
Do you think of any others? I can't.
It's almost always Nintendo that does this, so. Nothing's jumping to mind right now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Hebrew Lantern writes in and says, there's a population of 7.5 billion humans and 19 billion chickens at any given time. If there was a chicken rebellion, how would you prepare to fight off your about 2.7 chickens?
Eat them.
Eat them just live?
Sure.
That's insane.
Easy.
No, it's there's no way.
I got like a sword here. I'd probably swing that.
Is that I was wondering, what are your guys like go to if you had to fight a chicken right now?
One chicken?
No, you have to fight 2.7 chickens.
All right, 2.7 chickens.
Is it the sword? Is this sword strong enough to hit something with?
If the sword was sharp, like actually prepared, yeah.
So
well, I'm saying right now. It is whatever condition it is right now.
Oh fuck! Then it's just a bludgeoning object at that point.
Yeah, we're being serious here. Like
probably shoes and like sword. Yeah.
I would use my opposable thumbs to grab one and stomp the other. Like I'm a fucking human. That's not that big of a deal.
Man, I wouldn't want to grab a chicken. I was trying to think because I don't have like a bat.
You've never like touched a chicken?
You mean like literally grab as in like grab it from by the neck?
If it's attacking you, that thing's dead. It's easy.
I mean, I would probably kick it, right? Like that's pretty easy. But I was thinking because like I don't have like a baseball bat here.
Boots.
If I needed some kind of a weapon, like I could probably get a tennis racket. Try and hit it sideways on the rim.
I honestly don't think you need a weapon. You need to just kick it or hit it. Like it's not that big of a deal.
I would definitely kick it before I punch it because at least I have shoes on.
Two of them are not a big deal. If you start talking like a bit more, there's going to be problems if you don't have something for sure.
How much is a bit? How about 0.7 more?
Yeah, I don't get the 0.7 thing at all.
Well, I don't know. The average, right? If they split it up.
I don't know that I could take 5 on if they're like big plump chickens and they're mean. I don't know that I could.
But if they're big plump, maybe they're like slow and they've been poorly like stuffed full of like grain food for slaughtering.
That's a good point.
So you got to be careful of like you don't want to fight like a fit chicken.
A scrappy one, yeah.
Yeah, one that has something to like lose.
Or one with like a knife taped to its wing or something. That would be scary.
Holding with a knife in its beak.
Yeah,
it's got a knife.
Exactly. Yeah. At least we don't have to worry about assault rifles on our chickens up here, so we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 40 to 50 feral hogs. There's your reference. All right. Corey writes in and says, "Is there a game that Kid You would whoop you at today?" I like this question.
Whoop.
Yeah.
Quake.
Pokemon.
Sure.
Quake. Mine's probably Rock Band or Guitar Hero. I was way better as a kid.
Yep. Guitar Hero for sure. You're right.
Probably Mario Kart. I don't think I'm bad at Mario Kart, but I just haven't played it for a few years. Because they haven't been making them as much. Whereas as a kid, there was one every like 4 or 5 years.
Sure.
So I was playing it with some consistency. Rock Band or Guitar Hero for sure, though.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for questions. If you have questions for next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What's your game of the week?
Gears.
Picross, I guess.
And mine's Final Fantasy VII again.
Woo.
All right, if you're a Patreon subscriber, stay tuned to listen to our Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass episode. Otherwise, you can't listen to it because you're not a subscriber. And also, One Step from Eden won our poll, so that'll be the game we are playing through in May. So get excited for that near the end of the month. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Later.